Thank you for auditing the Always Positive new music review show hosted by a French professor who's doing two new things with today's video. First, it's going to be the first annual Halloween episode, where I am going to get into a costume and finish my review in 1 second. I have to go downstairs and shave. This is also where I am unveiling and revealing my second channel. For a couple weeks now, I've had what I call my secret channel. It's called From the Desk of Professor Sky. It's essentially my spam channel, as the kids call it. It's everything that is not a music review. You know, I talk about movies and books, and I'll talk about video games, basically anything I feel like talking about that doesn't fit within this channel, politics, whatever. That's what I'm going to talk about. But one of the features that I'm starting there, which I think is the most important, is called the Blank is a Good YouTuber series. And this is a parallel episode. Okay? So this, as you can tell from the title, is called Fantano is a Good YouTuber, and I'm going to get onto that soon. But my first video over there, that's going to be a house where basically every month I'm going to talk about a different YouTuber and why they're good. I'm doing it with a specific thing in mind. I am an academic. I do actually have a PhD in 17th century French literature. And I don't have the time to become an actual academic of YouTube, right? Like write pages, write books and papers. But I am positive that YouTube studies is going to be a major area of cultural studies going forward. It's going to far surpass movies and music and other stuff, which is way less important in modern culture than YouTube. So these videos that I'm making, this one included today on Fantano, is an attempt to help future academics. I know how academics think, and I want to provide a primary document of what some people are thinking about what's happening. Not just likes and thumbs up and subscriptions and smashing the like buckets, but actually like what is the intellectual atmosphere like? What is the cultural atmosphere like? This is an amazing moment that we're living in here on this platform. So over on my other channel, I made a video about who I think may be the best YouTuber out there, Video Game Donkey, about his comedic genius, about how he's Bill Murray for Generation Z. Go watch the video. It's pretty good. I think I make a pretty compelling point. And so now, on this channel, to give you a taste of the kind of approach I'm going to give, I'm going to talk about a music reviewer who is much more successful than I am, very different from me, but one that I appreciate very much, and I think we need to put in sort of proper context. Let me first change. Hello everyone, Professor Sky Tano here, the internet's French professorist music nerd. I thought this costume was going to work better. I just look like a creepy middle-aged dad. I thought the flannel and the mustache and the glasses would make me look just like Fantano. I think I need to go to the gym and shave my head. But what I want to do really is I want to just praise Fantano, because he is the biggest dog in the game. He is the number one figure. Quite often people will leave comments on my videos saying why I'm better than Fantano. And I want to just sort of start off first of all by saying we don't do the same thing. I'm not trying to do what Fantano does, and he's not trying to do what I do, right? So I'm very appreciative when people like my content, but I don't really think of it as being the same thing. Now, before I really get into what makes Fantano so good, or why we should appreciate Fantano, I think more than we already do, I want to give a few caveats. I don't think he is the best music commentator on YouTube. I love Polyphonic and Todd in the Shadows and Beato and Produce Like a Pro and even Joe Budden, which auto-corrects to Joe Biden. I like both, but I probably prefer Joe Budden. I'm not saying that he is the greatest. And he wasn't a personal inspiration for me. When I started doing my channel, I never watched a single YouTube video about music before. I'm not focusing on him as the best or as an inspiration, but I think that we need to, as YouTube fans and YouTube participators, appreciate the fact that the top dog is so good. It makes our lives better as music fans, as music appreciators, that the most successful and most influential person in the sphere of music reviewing on the internet is Anthony Fantano. Frankly, I don't know if we deserve someone as good as him. You look at a similar space for movies, Chris Stuckman and Johns, and they're fine, but they're not as good as Fantano. you know? When you think about, you know, video games, right? Like, there's a lot of great people in the video game space, but there's not one clear absolute king, and that one clear absolute king is not as good as Fantano is. I think the problem that we might have as a music snob or as a music criticism snob is we think that the number one guy should be Lester Bangs, you know, should be David Marsh, you know, these kind of like great figures of blinding insight and great essays. But that's not what Fantano is replacing. Fantano is replacing Spin Magazine, Rolling Stone, the little tiny music section in Entertainment Weekly. We need to think of him as the standard, highest profile, higher profile than Pitchfork, right? Just the standard, highest profile music critic. And I think what we should really do is just praise him for his consistency. He has a very good formula which he follows. You know what to expect from him, even if you don't always know what he says. He makes his thoughts clear. He covers albums with great brevity, with excellent editing, right? He's very YouTube savvy as well, with the creation of the characters, like the Cal character, and talking about his teeth, and the melon jokes, the great mixture of entertaining and informative. And as somebody who doesn't edit his videos at all, like myself, I really appreciate how efficient he is at presenting exactly what he wants to say and how quickly he's able to say it. I also think that we need to appreciate the fact that he has such good taste. I mean, I don't agree with everything. I like that Chance the Rapper album, as an example, you know, and there's things that he likes that I don't. But I think as a good example, his particular affinity for the Swans is a good indication of who he is as a music producer, as a music reviewer, you know? Like, to love the Swans, like I love the Swans, and like he loves the Swans, like that's what gave me the indication that maybe he's not just a guy who got lucky, right place, right time, but to have that kind of deep affection for a band without being in some kind of subculture that reveres the band. I think it shows his ability to effectively help shape the mainstream, or at least build up the underground, because his opinions really do matter, and he knows it, and he takes it seriously. I think we need to praise Fantano as well for his secondary channel, for his occasional dalliances into political commentary, which I think are, well, I agree with his political stances quite often, but they're also understated and clearly said. You know, I think he doesn't overstate his political feelings, he doesn't overstate his stance on social issues, yet he's always clear. I think he has a successful interaction with his fans and with his audience in a way which I don't see many other YouTubers doing either. The thing is this, you know, if you just told me 20 years ago, there's going to be a music reviewer who's going to do videos, there's going to be a whole video thing, and he's going to be number one, I would just assume somebody just kind of bland, milquetoast, not particularly interesting, not particularly engaging, just someone who got there. And I think it's time we praise Anthony Fantano for all those things that he is not and all the things that he is. He's also I'm from the Northeast. He's such a Connecticut guy. I don't really know how to explain it, but like every state has a sort of different personality. Like New Hampshire people, I often have problems with New Hampshire people. I spent a lot of time in New Hampshire. And I'm a very Boston guy. I'm a very Massachusetts guy myself. But he has he exudes such Connecticutness. And Connecticut is kind of an underrepresented state. So I also appreciate that about him. So there's my take. I don't look at all like him. I look like, please tell me in the comments what I look like, by the way, if you come up with a better joke than this. I look like a scientist in a superhero movie who's about to have some terrible experiment that turns him into a supervillain, you know? I'm like the Lizard or something. This is not a good look for me. I'm gonna go shave immediately. All right. Well, anyways, there's my series. Please check out my new channel, From the Desk of Professor Sky. Check out my donkey video. Just kind of, you know, like check in with this kind of idea. Like, tell me, do you want to hear more from me? Is this annoying to you? Do you wish I would just stick to the music? Fantano, do you love him? Do you hate him? Click the bell as well. Smash the like button. Or go to hell. I don't know how he does it, that little thing he does at the end of the other video, you know, that nice stuff, you know. But tell me, you know, like do you see what I'm saying about Fantano? Like why he's so good? Okay, all right, well there you go. I'm done now. I'm gonna go shave. Do you see how I even like put myself on one side of the thing like he does? Okay, I gotta go to the gym.